Hey guys, it's LukeMan97. Welcome back to another video on World of Warships Blitz. I normally don't do uploads on Friday, but I was just at the place where I upload, so I decided why not make a video. Don't worry guys, we'll be bringing you a BeamNG video next week for all you PC game lovers. Anyways, today we're doing another ship review, as is the tradition on the channel. Today we're looking at the Tier 4 Premium Cruiser Yubari, I don't know how to pronounce it really. But as far as the history of this thing, it was a Japanese experimental light cruiser that I forget when it was built. Let's see, it says here. It was built in 1923, and they were experimenting with, I think, such things as engine propulsion and stuff like that. I don't know too much of the history as far as like battles it was in, but I know it was eventually sunk by a US submarine. So that was the end of this thing. But this thing, I think another experimental thing about this thing is she gets 610 millimeter torpedoes, which at tier 4 is very, very deadly. But we'll get to that in a minute. It says in the description, experimental light cruiser. So she was equipped with dual 140 millimeter guns, featured centerline weapon layout, usually seen on destroy. Okay, so yeah, this thing is basically, they call it a cruiser in the game, but I'd call it more of a large destroyer, because that's her playstyle more, because the guns they're bigger than destroyer guns. 140 mil is bigger than the 127 mil usually used on destroyers, but yeah, I would probably call it destroyer, because the guns aren't very big, and look at the torpedoes, they have a center line layout, whereas most Japanese cruisers, like let's just say the Kuma, the tier 4 tech tree, you can see they have side-mounted torpedoes. So yeah, most cruisers have side-mounted torps. But first of all, let's do some comparisons. Sorry, my comparison list is a little messy. Some other stuff added. But let's compare, first of all, let's compare the Yubari to the Kuma, the tier 4 tech tree cruiser. So first of all, we notice the Yubari gets ship skills. And I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Kuma does not get ship skills. Yubari gets 2 engine boost 1s, which gives you maximum speed by 8% for 25 seconds. And interestingly enough, gets 2 AA defense alert 1s, which increases large cal AA damage by 75% and small caliber by 75% for 20 seconds. It's a little bit interesting to get that on a tier 4 ship, because usually you don't get very good AA at tier 4, but let's compare these two. The Kuma actually gets more hit points, about 2,000 more, but the armor is basically the same. They're both light cruisers. But, yeah, see what I mean here? It's kind of a destroyer as far as the health as well. The Yubari has better acceleration and is more maneuverable than the Kuma, much better turn time. Kuma has 7 single mounts for its 140 millimeter guns. The Yubari actually gets 2 double mounts and 2 single mounts. So one double and 1 single front, and 1 double and 1 single aft. Kuma actually has a slightly better range and a slightly better turret traverse speed though. Torpedoes, this is where the Kuma is kind of inferior. So the Yubari has its torpedoes center mounted and has 2 double launchers, but it gets the 610 millimeter torpedoes, which are very deadly at tier 4. And they reload in 42 seconds, which is quite a good reload, honestly. Like, your torpedoes reload very fast. You'll see that in the battle in a minute. But as you can see, they do quite a bit of damage. They're almost like deep water torpedoes at tier 4. They do a lot of damage, have a much better range than the Kuma torps, go about 5 knots faster than the Kuma torps, and have a better chance of flooding. The Kuma, in return, its torps reload faster, and it has a better torpedo to traverse speed, but the Kuma actually has 2 double launchers on each side. So technically it can launch more than the Yubari, but it has to turn a full 360 to do that, or actually a full 180 to do that. The AA is actually, honestly, I'd say pretty decent. It's better than the Kuma, obviously. A little bit better range on the large caliber. 22 is not too good for large caliber, but 91 is pretty decent for the small caliber. And yeah, about, and with the AA defense alert, it can get, I mean, it's not, you're not going to be able to defend yourself against a carrier really, but it's okay. And the surface detection is slightly better. Which, by the way, 6.24 kilometers. What is the Japanese destroyer at Tier 4? I think it's the Izakazi. Yeah. What is the Izakazi surface detection? Yeah, it has a 5.10, but you know what I mean. It's a pretty good surface detection, honestly. What does Shima have? Shima has 6.40. So this thing has about like a Shima surface detection, maybe even better than a Shima. But yeah, look at the size difference. So this is the Harugamo, which is a Tier 10 gunboat destroyer. But look at this. Look at how big this thing is compared to the Yubari. Yeah, that's what I mean. And they call this a cruiser. So, yeah. So the second comparison we're going to do is to the Tier 5 Japanese destroyer on the Shima line, not the gunboat line, the Matsuki. Which, the reason why I chose to compare these things is because the Matsuki also gets 610mm torpedoes. So the Matsuki gets an extra engine boost, but no defensive AA. Yubari obviously has better health and armor because it's not a destroyer. But yeah, see, it only has 4,000 more hit points than a Tier 5 destroyer. Which a Tier 4 destroyer would have even less, but yeah. Obviously the Matsuki's better in the maneuverability category and speed. The Yubari has better range, damage, and chance of setting fire on the guns. Obviously, the Matsuki has better turret traverse. But yeah, these are completely different guns. We're not here to compare these. We're here to compare the torps. So the Matsuki actually gets 2 triple launchers of torpedoes, so more than the Yubari, 2 more than the Yubari. But I was comparing them because they're the same torps, the 610mm 93. The Yubari's actually reload about 12 seconds faster because it has less price, so that's a trade-off that it reloads faster. But other than that, these torps are exactly the same. So this thing has the same kind of torps as a Tier 5 Japanese destroyer, which is pretty good, honestly. Plus, obviously, better AA. The Matsuki has a better surface detection. Which, by the way, what are the torps? I think on the Shima they have 610mm, yeah, 93. So this thing has the same torps as a Shima. And I'm not sure what the Harugamo gets. It gets 610. So this thing has the same torps as the Tier 10 Japanese, both Tier 10 Japanese destroyers. And I believe, yeah, the Zao gets 610 too. So it has the same torps as Tier 10 things. And imagine what, I mean, there's not many of them, only 4, but they can do a lot of damage in Tier 4. Anyways, on to the next part of it. As far as the elite bonus, I went with cruiser modernization, gives you more hit points, large caliber AA damage, and main battery traverse speed, because the main battery traverse speed isn't really the best for having basically destroyer guns. You could go with advanced torpedo, that's also a viable option. It gives you better torpedo damage and chance of flooding, but I just went with cruiser modernization. Both of them really could work, though. As far as camouflage, you can purchase a historical camo, which is pretty cheap, only $750. It looks pretty cool. I just haven't gotten it yet. It gives you main battery firing range, torpedo range, max traverse speed, and surface detection, which, being basically a large destroyer, surface detection is always useful. We're just going to be rolling with this, though, since we don't have anything else. Yeah, you can see how the torpedoes are mounted on the center, which kind of gives it like a large destroyer type of. Plus, this thing is small, like I said. I mean, it's the same as a Harugamo, which, by the way, let's compare the two real quick as far as the surface detection. I just want to see, because I know the Harugamo is like a gunboat destroyer and about the same size, so let's compare the surface detection. Yeah, actually, the Yubari has a better surface detection than the Tier 10 Japanese gunboat destroyer Harugamo. So they call this thing a cruiser, but it's more of a large destroyer. As far as battle honors, typical premium stuff. Play 5 battles, get boosters and money. Destroy 3 enemy ships, get some copper for the shipyard. Just typical stuff. As far as the equipment that I've actually, let's go do supplies first. As far as supplies, probably go with surface detection because this thing has a very, very good surface detection. definitely improved crew rations, 'cause that's always useful, and it gives you better torpedo reload speed and gun reload speed. And you could either go with warship hit points or refined diesel, because this thing isn't extremely fast for a light cruiser / large destroyer. I'd probably go with warship hit points though, because you don't have much hit points. Also, don't go near battleships with this unless you're like about to kill them, because if they start hitting you with their main guns like Wyomings or New Yorks or Congos or anything really, you don't have much armor, so you're going to succumb to them really quick. As far as equipment, I put aiming system mod 1 on here because it makes your main battery and torpedo tubes traverse faster, which is useful because this thing doesn't have the best of those. I wish there was a modification for torpedo reload. That'd be fun, like the main battery mod 1 where you can reload the torps a bit faster. In slot 2, I have fire and flooding resistance, Damacon system mod 1. You could go with steering gear mod 1 or propulsion mod 1, that would also work. Slot 3, I put propulsion mod 2. This is one of my favorite mods for the third slot. You could also go with steering gear mod 2 or torpedo defense mod 1. So there's a lot of options for equipment here. These are just the ones I went with. As far as the commander skills, slot 1, obviously underwater protection expert. Slot 2, torpedo alert. Slot 3, high alert. Slot 4, victorious charge. Although I probably should have gone with with air defense expert here, because it makes your AA defense thing last longer. I just didn't think about it. Or you could have gone with battlefield support to give you an extra AA defense alert. But like I said, I've never used two of them in the same battle really before. So I don't think it's really necessary to get an extra one. As far as this one though, I would recommend the air defense expert. I just didn't go with that for some reason. Slot 5, obviously survivalist. You could go with daredevil though, since you're kind of a destroyer playstyle. Slot 6, you could go with exploit weakness, since I usually fire HE from the main guns and the torpedoes often cause flooding. But the main guns don't set fires as good as that Japanese heavy cruiser line does. Like the Takao can set fires left and right, because these things' guns are smaller. So I just went with generalist. Slot 7, obviously you're going to go with fully prepared. Slot 8, extinguisher. Slot 9, probably honestly engine overload, because it makes the engine accelerator better. Slot 10, definitely compartment maintenance. Slot 11, probably IFHE, because that's what I normally fire from the main guns, unless I'm firing like at a aircraft carrier, but yeah. Slot 12, either Giant Hunter or Horizontal Protection Expert. You don't get much armor in the first place, so I'd probably just go with Giant Hunter, because you already have big torpedoes at this tier, so it'll just make you do more damage, which, is useful. It actually doesn't increase your torpedo damage to destroyers for some reason, just battleships, cruisers, and aircraft carriers. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into a battle real quick. Which, by the way, before we get into a battle, there's a couple different places you can obtain this ship. It is in the Japanese tech tree of premium ships up top. So you can just buy it for gold here. I forget how much it is. I think it's like 3,000 something, or probably more like 4,000, because the Kamikaze is a destroyer, so it's probably about the same as a tier 5 destroyer, probably around like 4,000 something. I actually got it from a budget crate. Like once in a while they have these crates that only cost like 15 gold, and I opened like 10 of them or whatever, and that's how I got the Yubari, because the Yubari was like the ship that had the best probability of coming out of it. And so yeah, that's where I picked up the Yubari. But it's actually kind of a rare ship, even though it's on the tech tree. Not many people have it, but because I don't see many other Yubaris that often. But yeah, they are nasty at tier 4 with their big torpedoes. So you could either get it from the budget crate, it's still an option in the budget crate, or you could pick it up from the tech tree as well. So let's go ahead and get into a battle. Doesn't look like there's many So yeah, you can get into tier 3 games with this thing. So you could basically one-shot, well, you can obviously one-shot destroyers and stuff, but you can one-shot other stuff too in tier 3. So we're up against Bot Hosho, Wyoming, Kaiser, Bot Kawachi, Double Phoenix, and Clemson. So let's go. We're playing base capture on Scorching Islands. We're going to leave that on HE, and the torps. It has horrible torpedo angles, by the way. But yeah, it very narrow spreads of torps, but horrible torpedo angles. On our team, we have Bot Langley, Wyoming, Double South Carolina, Phoenix, me, Yubari, and Clemson. So honestly, it honestly isn't looking good as far as battleships because 2 South Carolinas is nothing compared to a Wyoming and a Kaiser, but we'll have to deal with it, I guess. Okay, can you quit that? Just kind of get it. Yeah, it's his hurt, though. He's just ruining his surface detection. Okay, there's the Kaiser. Okay, I got a lock on him. I don't want to fire quite yet because I don't want to ruin my surface detection. I'm kind of going to side up along this island here because I really don't want to... Oh, there's the Clemson. So that I'm gonna start backing away because he probably got some torps. Okay, fire. You gonna Damacon? No, he's smart. He's a rear admiral. He knows not to Damacon single fires. Okay, we already got rid of one of their phoenixes somehow. Good job, Clemson. Okay, the Kaiser's coming around here. I'm gonna go. Okay, our Phoenix is about to die. I'm gonna go give that Kaiser the good news of my torpedoes. There we go. He's not even firing back. That's kind of weird. And look how much damage this is gonna do. That basically half-healthed him. 4 torps took like half health, which is pretty crazy. Also, looks like he's perma-frozen. Is he like AFK just going forward because he's not even firing back? That's kind of weird. Okay, well, I think we might have an AFK Kaiser. Let's just go ahead and finish him off. Okay, the fire's still burning. My flood went out, though. Because if he had a damage there we go. So yeah, I need to kite away a little bit because that Wyoming is kind of coming up. Hopefully undetected. But, yeah, that was a fairly easy kill on the Kaiser. But you can see that even though it's only 4 torpedoes, that it basically took half of his health off. That's because of the Japanese torpedoes are really good and their size is really big. 610 millimeter. By the way, how am I? Okay, I'm undetected finally. Okay, looks like we need to defend our left flank. So SOS! I can call for some help. I really need to defend this flank though because there's no one defending it, and there's a battleship and a cruiser charging up. So that Wyoming thinks the way is all clear, and he's starting to come. So we got really lucky with the... Okay, I'm going to torp the Wyoming as soon as I can while staying away, because I really don't want to get detected. As you can see, yeah, the torpedo reload time, honestly, isn't too bad. Okay, hopefully I didn't overshoot that. Hopefully all 4 hit, because I could take half of his health off, and that'd be good. Looks like maybe only 2 will hit, though. I don't know. Yeah, the Clemson's coming along as well. Okay, only 2 hit, but they cause flooding. I don't know if it's gonna affect it. Can you guys hurry up and get to the base? Okay, there comes the Clemson. I'm gonna have to open fire because of him. There's a good chance I might die here defending, but I need to help defend this base because our team doesn't get their base captured in time, then we're not gonna be good. So I'm gonna hide behind the aircraft carrier because he's kind of a torpedo shield from the Clemson. Well, I just casually sniped the Clemson, taking off basically his entire health. Okay, let's take out this Clemson. Clemson. Our carrier's dead though. It's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and torpedo that Phoenix. That could get him. See, this is the thing. Your torpedo angles are so bad that you literally have to turn basically entirely sideways just to get a launch, which puts you in the enemy fire. Come on, reload. Oh, come on. And they're not even capturing. Yeah, we've definitely lost this. They're not even capturing either. But as you can see, I did a respectable amount of damage in a tier 4. 52,000 and 2 ships. So yeah, the guns work better. They work better for taking out destroyers than anything else. But yeah, you could see how those torpedoes basically half health the battleship. And then I basically took off half the Phoenix's health. So yeah. Yeah, our South Carolinas are too slow. But yeah, we can do another one and see what happens. Yeah, no one was defending that one flank, and the South Carolinas were way too slow to get to their base in time. Also, that game was a bit unfair because we had 2 South Carolinas while they had 2 tier 4 battleships, although one of them was AFK. That Kaiser was super easy to take out because he wasn't even paying attention. He must have just started sailing forward at the beginning of the battle and then just forgot to man his game or whatever, and that's probably what happened. Okay, let's go ahead and do another one. It'd be nice to get into a tier 3 game with this thing. Normally I'm getting into like tier 4 games. I don't normally get into tier 3 games, but yeah, you'd be super OP if you were in a tier 4 game. Because at this tier, it's like having deep water torpedoes, but you can hit destroyers with them, which I didn't hit any destroyers with my torps. My guns were more than enough to take out the Clemson. But, yeah. We're up against Hosho, Wyoming. This is a carrier game. Bought South Carolina, Deny, bought Tenryu, bought St. Louis, bought Izakaze. Tenryu, I don't know. So we do not have a battleship this time, which that could be a problem, but this is a real carrier game with real carriers, and we're playing domination on big race, which is actually a fairly okay map, honestly. I'm going to head to A because I spawned over here. Also, I just realized last game I didn't use any of my ship skills, but this game, definitely going to use them because we have aircraft carriers to deal with, and engine boosts will help to get to the area. Also, this Wix is about to block me to turn. Come on. I hate that when you hit a ship and half of your speed goes off, especially bots. You do have to be a bit more conservative with your engine boosts because you only get 2 of them. But yeah, even with engine boosts, this thing only goes 37. So it's like having that, and he mostly misses. So that just proves how much of a story. We have the AA defense running. Plane was shot down, but we didn't do it, so yeah. Okay, they're capturing that. There's a 10 room. Oh, wait. Oh, this is a real carrier. I thought that was a bot carrier. That explains why he's torpedo bombing. I don't think bots did that. Set a fire, but the Southie takes him out. Okay. Here we got A. If you guys can capture B, that'd be fantastic. Here comes a St. Louis, it looks like. Well, hello, Mr. St. Louis. I don't want to torch him from range because I know how bots can perfectly dodge your torpedoes. Also, it looks like there's a bunch of torpedoes to turn in. They're about to hit our bot Phoenix. Oh, he died. Okay. Okay. Let's just... I'm just going to send torps in that direction. There. If my torps hit the St. Louis, it'll definitely be dead. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, you stupid. Okay. There goes the St. Louis. If you guys could capture that area, that would be wonderful. Can you please do that? I'm gonna go find their carrier because he's getting really annoying for me, and switch to armor piercing. Time for see, he completely missed his bombing run there. So. Oh, I finally destroyed destroy an aircraft. Nice. He's backing up, it looks like. Nope, sorry. We're out of AA. So I guess it would be kind of useful to have the battlefield support skill with the commander. I just didn't think about it when I was doing it, so I'd have to reset the commander. Let's turn. That's kind of a tactic, honestly, for dodging bombs. If you like turn while they're bombed. These are people bombers, I believe, so we're gonna put the ship into a circle. I hate the okay. Keep firing. I gotta get in really close. He's backing up. I might as well just use my torps. Does he have 2 squadrons of torps? Okay, that's his dialogue. Okay, looks like he starts to do that. I'm gonna Damacon the single fire right now. I might regret that in a second, but he's also dead because my torps are hit. Goodbye. That's the torpedo bombers, but he's not gonna be able to accurately hit me now because he's dead. So, where are they going? No, they're gonna go over there. I don't even see the torpedoes. Oh, there they are. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Okay, let's use our engine. Let's get back to the kind of straight off course. Let's switch back to the AG. So yeah, the AP is useful against carriers, obviously it does more damage. Come on guys, we need to keep that area if you guys can defend it. So that's our deny that's capturing it, so, or Dany, I don't know how you pronounce it. Also, I don't know what our carrier thinks he's doing. He's wandering into enemy fire there. He's right by. Heal up again. We denied him. As you can see, the turrets don't traverse at an incredible amount of speed, so... Already done 36,000 points of damage. That's pretty respectable, honestly. Gotta watch out, because the Deny does have torps, and he does have quite a bit, but looks like he's pretty focused on that carrier there, so I'm gonna just launch my torps and just jump in direction. He is noticing that so torps aren't gonna work or something. I don't think he's rushed, though. He's about to be dead. But he's also about to be dead, so... I just heard him. But the Caledon takes him out. Okay, I might take 1 or 2 of those. I probably should have. Gotta get a Damacon steering. There's a Wyoming. Is he looking at me? But we did save our aircraft carrier, which will be useful, because he can bomb the Wyoming. Currently we have 5 torpedoes. But the battle's probably going to end, and I don't think he would have ran into the Yay, we got one. Okay. Well, we won that one, so that was pretty nice. But, and we take the MVP. 44,000 points of damage, 2 ships. Not as much damage as last time, but at least we won. But yeah, as you can see, the Yubari is a pretty OP ship at tier 4 with how much damage the torpedoes can do, and the guns are pretty decent on it too. So I definitely recommend this ship. I don't know if you want to spend 4,000 gold on it, but if you decide you want to gamble on the budget crate, it's not the worst reward to get out of it. But also, I don't know, I mean, if you guys like Japanese cruisers, light cruisers, then you might want to buy this thing, pick it up. It's only probably like 4,000. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.